Apart from the advanced Lovre Kalinic signing and loan deal for Kortney Hause, Aston Villa sporting director Garcia, Pitarch and head coach Dean Smith are leaving it rather late in the January window to bring in reinforcements for what hopefully will be a late push into the playoffs. The transfer window for Aston Villa hasn't been as active as some supporters perhaps first envisaged it would be. It seems that it's very much a case of seeing how the land lies late on, as it's likely, if there is any Villa business, it will be done on deadline day. Austin rumors Southampton have said striker Charlie Austin is free to leave, but isn't that fairly irrelevant for Aston Villa? Given the current form of Tammy Abraham and what has recently been said about loans by the Villa hierarchy. Villa were interested in the player once upon a time, but now they aren't too keen on revisiting big wage loans and perhaps don't have the FFP wiggle room to buy outright. Hogan out. According to Sky Sports, Scott Hogan has had a medical at Sheffield United to go on loan until the end of the season. United have been linked to Hogan for several transfer windows now, so it seems that finally there'll be movement. Bristol City have also been linked, but it seems that the Blades are in pole position. Yes, the player needs a move from a personal point of view, as he's a third-choice forward at Villa, but do Villa really want to be loaning the player to a potential playoff rival? Midland's merciless embed from Getty Images. Bournemouth manager Eddie Howe suggested he is open to Villa's supposed interest in drafting in defender Tyrone Mings, with the Cherries boss admitting the player is expected to leave the Cherries before the transfer window shuts on Thursday. Villa are thought to be in competition with West Brom and Nottingham Forest for Mings' services. We'll wait and see on what happens with Tyrone. Howe said, of the player who has tended to play centre-back in recent years, that is, when he's actually played. Ming is in his fourth season with Bournemouth, since signing from Ipswich, but he's only started 10 games in that period. He's been unlucky since he signed for the club, so there's a possibility he could be an outgoing Chalobah link. The BBC football website reports that Watford's Nathaniel Chalobah is under consideration by Villa. The once highly rated Chalobah signed for Watford in 2017, after being a serial loanee while at Chelsea. The player was dealt a blow at the Hornets after a fractured kneecap, sidelined for 8 months. Villa loaning a midfielder who's had a long-term injury and failed to get back as a regular for his team? Sounds familiar. Yannick Bolasie, anyone? Much has been made about the John Terry connection, but the question is, where is Chalobah at in terms of sharpness and form? Are Villa going to continue as a rehabilitation center for players trying to resurrect their careers, or will he legitimately add to the team? Alternative tune option. Newcastle United midfielder Isaac Hayden is waiting for the green light from his club to see if he can get a move further south to be closer to his family in South Wales. Both Villa and WBA are reported to be his leading suitors, initially on loan. Having been an active member of Newcastle's squad this season, Rafa Benitez has so far resisted the player's transfer request, as he waits to see how the final days of the transfer window unfolds. "We've had ongoing discussions," said Hayden, "at the weekend. The clubs that are interested in me are waiting, and the clubs that I want to go to are waiting. It's just a case of whether Newcastle say, yeah, you can go. If they say that, I can go. That's where it is really." Newcastle United are reportedly looking to sign midfielder Andreas Samaras, which could trigger Hayden's move out. Villa are also reportedly to be after a loan with a view to buy for Burnley defender Ben Gibson. Gibson hasn't had much joy since he signed for Burnley from Middlesbrough last summer in a £12 million deal. The 26-year-old has only played once in the Premier League for Burnley since, so a deal will no doubt be down to arranging a suitable end price Villa could purchase him for. Considering what Burnley initially forked out for the player, he probably won't come cheap. Another right-back. If Smith has to play the way he wants, then he will certainly look at upgrading both fullback positions, but are Villa's links to Stoke City's Moritz Bauer legit? The Austrian right-back has been playing second fiddle this season, making only 4 championship starts in a struggling Stoke team. Bauer only signed for the Potters in the previous January transfer window for around £6 million. Would Bauer be a drastic upgrade on what Villa already have? Probably not, and Villa have bigger priorities. Man up Callum O'Hare has moved on loan to Carlisle United until the end of the season. If O'Hare is going to make the step up, this is a positive move for the young villain. After struggling to make an impact in his appearances in recent cup games for the first team, O'Hare needs sustained games at a proper level to take his career up to the next level and to prove himself to Dean Smith and the Villa management team. UTV. Listen to the new Moms podcast episode.